Hey everyone, can you guys hear me now? We have audio. Okay, cool. Not sure what happened there. The irony of coming out to Disney's All-Star Music and having the audio not work is pretty funny. Hi Randy, hi Patty. Thanks for letting me know that the audio was not working the first try, but we are here at Disney's All-Star Music Resort, continuing our Walt Disney World Resort Hotel Spotlight series. Last week we were out at All-Star Sports. This week we are here at All-Star Music. So we're kicking things off with the All-Stars, obviously. So you can always go back and check out our video from last week on All-Star Sports. We also have little preview videos, sort of all around quick minute-long videos of the resorts. You can check out our video from Monday on All-Star Music. We also highlighted things like the rooms, the food, the photo ops around the resort. So if you're new to our Facebook here, be sure to follow along as we continue this Spotlight series all year long. Won't be every week, but just about. There are that many Walt Disney World Resort hotels, so we'll be getting out to all of them. At least that's the plan. So again, we are here for our second live stream in the series here at All-Star Music. Playing some giant chess right outside the pool here. Oh, Patty will be at Pop. Very cool. We like Pop. Pop is fun. We'll definitely be getting out to Pop Century in the near future. So I'm not going to walk back through the lobby. We did the opening going through there. Actually, you know what? Let's pop back in right here for just a second. We did come through the food court. That is the Singing Spirits pool bar here. I'll give you guys just sort of a quick lay of the land here. Not going to go through everything again, but so as we head inside off of the pool, you've got intermission food court on the right. You've got notable games on the left. And then up ahead on the right, you've got Maestro Mickey's, which is the gift shop. And on the left, this is the main lobby where you would check in. So there is Maestro Mickey's. And here is the check-in desk. So there you go. And again, we did take a look in more detail. I would imagine, I don't know, because of the audio issue with the previous live stream, I would guess now that it's posted, you can probably hear the audio on it, but who knows? If you guys have any questions or anything specific you'd like to see, feel free to let me know. But for now, we're going to take a walk around outside here. And here's something we didn't look at All-Star Sports. Here is the map. So Melody Hall is the main lobby area where we just came out of. So we're right here, just outside the guitar pool. So we've got the Calypso area here. Then we're gonna go into jazz. And then you've got show tunes, country, and rock. So what I do like about this is, like again, we're starting here in the center, in the main lobby. All-Star Sports and actually All-Star Movies, actually you can see them here. They kind of set you off in different directions off of the lobby. This one's just a straight shot, which is nice. So let's head straight back. So again, we are here at the main pool, just off the lobby. This is the Calypso area, the Calypso buildings. The All-Star Resorts mostly have two room types. It is just a standard room and a preferred room. The preferred room, all that means is you're going to be closer to the lobby. So if that's important to you, then opt for the preferred room. Otherwise, standard room is going to be the exact same, just a little bit further away from everything. Now, All-Star Music is the only one of the three All-Star Resorts that does have, and forgive me for getting the exact verbiage that they use for the room type, but it's like basically a family suite. It's a little bit bigger, sleeps a few more people. Nothing crazy. There's no like big suites here at the All-Star Resorts. They're fairly simple. These are the most affordable resorts here at Walt Disney World. But I think they're some of the most fun resorts too. Randy says, wife and daughter are doing a girls trip staying at Riviera. That's awesome. I love Riviera. I can't wait to get back out there. And we will definitely do that in the near future as well. But so that's the Calypso area, which really the main feature is that it's right up against the lobby and you got the big guitar pool in the center. And of course you got some fun theming with the maracas, the birds. Now we're entering into the jazz area, which again, highlighted some of the photo ops around the All-Star Resorts, and it's just awesome. By the way, that is All-Star Sports. You can see the giant Coca-Cola cup over there. So we toured All-Star Sports last week, and you can see all of the All-Star Resorts are within walking distance of each other, which is nice. But we're coming into the jazz area here. This is probably my favorite area of this particular resort. It is so nice. Look at this walk. It's such a nice, peaceful area here. You're getting a little bit away from the loud music of the pool. And this is definitely not what you think of when you think of the All-Star Resorts. You think of, the big color. Well, you think of this. This is what you think of. The giant photo ops, the characters, things like that. Not a beautiful fountain and like a nice walk through trees like that. That's why this is my favorite area of this resort. There's one more look here at the courtyard here, area in the jazz section. Those of you watching, have you stayed at the All-Star Resorts before? Do you have a favorite between music, movies, and sports? Which one's your favorite? Yeah, this is a good point from Randy. He says that was almost like walking around Port Orleans. It really is. It's a really nice area. Port Orleans is beautiful as well. We'll definitely be getting out to Port Orleans. I think we're going to have to do that separately. We're going to have to do French Quarter and Riverside. And I know Fat Tuesday is coming up. Mardi Gras will be starting pretty soon, so might have to get out there for that. Hi, Steven. Patty says movies is her favorite. I think that is the most popular option because it does have more of the Disney characters and the Disney feel. By the way, it is much quieter back. We're just, here's the jazz, just past that is Calypso, that's where the main pool is. It was much louder over there. And we've got another pool here. You got the piano pool. So the nice thing about the All-Star Resorts is because they are so spread out, there's so many different rooms, they do have multiple pools. So even if you are all the way back, for example, the one time I stayed here, we stayed in the country area, which is in the back, which we'll get to. So even if you do stay back there, though, you have a pool much closer than the main lobby area. What else do we got here? Bill says, sister and brother-in-law honeymoon there in September. Nice. And Jack. Hello, Jack. Watching from Connecticut. You can see there are entrances to the pool area sort of adjacent to every section of rooms here. So here's your entrance to the piano pool. And then behind me, this is the show tunes area, which it is really quiet over here. There's nobody here. There was actually, last time I was here, which I was putting together all the videos and everything you guys have seen on our socials. So it was only a few weeks ago. There was all construction going on back there, and they are already done. It looks like there's a nice little courtyard area that we're going to go check out. So this is like the Disney on Broadway section here, or show tunes. So you got Aladdin, Lion King, Frozen, Mary Poppins. Let's see. Steven asks, which resort is my favorite? If we're talking about the All-Stars, man, that's tough. I think I'd probably go with sports. I really love the, especially the football area of All-Star Sports. Here you got the big Broadway sign here. Hi, Ginny. Yeah, I really like All-Star Sports. I like all three of them, though. They're all really nice. There are also multiple parking lots for the All-Star Resorts, so you won't have to park too far away from your room, which is nice. That is something I learned a few years back. If you've been watching for a long time, you've heard me say this 100 times. But a few years back, we stayed at a lot of the different Walt Disney World Resort hotels, and being local, we drove to all of them, obviously. And so that was one thing we learned, is that not all of the resorts have like an equal parking situation. Is sometimes you have to park much further away from your room. So something to keep in mind. But you can see, if you're staying even back here in like the Show Tunes area, you can park pretty close, and you can see the parking lot goes all the way around there. So that's really nice. By the way, this is just a nice seating area out here. This is what they were working on, I guess, when I was here last. Nice little courtyard area. Bill has a stay coming up at Art of Animation. That's awesome. We also love Art of Animation. That is one that I think that's like if you took All-Star Movies and dialed it up to 11. That's like the ultimate like Disney hotel feel. And fun fact, the biggest pool on hotel property, on Walt Disney World property, is over at Art of Animation, the big blue pool. While we're over here in the Disney on Broadway section, you guys have a favorite Disney on Broadway show? Have you seen any Disney on Broadway shows? We'll settle for off-Broadway, that's okay too. The Festival of the Arts is still going on over at Epcot, not for too much longer. Ends this week. Geez, this year is flying by already. But we did get a chance to check out the Disney on Broadway, the 30 Years of Disney on Broadway exhibit. So you can always go back and check that out on our socials. We have video of the Disney on Broadway exhibit over at Festival of the Arts. Randy, I'd have to vet your comment there. I'm not sure. That was the case when Art of Animation opened, so I don't think that's changed. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. All right, so we are leaving the Disney on Broadway, or the Show Tunes section. We are coming into the country music section. And again, piano pool, conveniently located in the center of all three of these sections. I guess you could even say four. You might be, if you're staying in jazz, you might be closer to the piano pool than the guitar pool. Of course, the photo ops here, you got the giant instruments, you got the giant cowboy boots. And one of the more interesting things about this resort is this sort of like corral area here. It's a nice little area for like, if you're gonna do a picnic or something. You wanna just hang out. It's a nice day like it is today. It's beautiful out today, by the way. You can come out here, enjoy the little corral. The only weird thing is, there's one way in and one way out. It's right here. So if you walk in, you walk down to one of the far tables, you got to come back this way to get back out. Unless you're going to hop a fence, which I don't recommend doing. I believe this is also the smoking section. You saw some of the ashtrays around there. So something to keep in mind as well. Got these nice chairs out here. Now, the All-Star Resorts obviously don't have all of the amenities that some of the other resorts will have on property, and we'll, again, get out to all of them and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, Randy. Randy just confirmed the big blue pool is the largest over in Art of Animation. Yeah, that was... There was a series of documentaries on a network that doesn't even exist anymore. I can't remember the name of it. But there was a series of documentaries they did on Walt Disney World. And actually Disney parks in general, but most of the focus was on Walt Disney World. And that was one of the fun facts they said. And I watched those things. This was before I moved here and before I could come to Walt Disney World as much as I do now. But I watched those things on repeat. I can't even tell you how many times I watched them. So that was one of those things that stood out in my mind. All right, we are entering the rock section here. And this is, I think, probably the imagery that most people think of when they think of the All-Star Music Resort. The giant jukebox facade, the guitar, the car. Again, very quiet back here. I think a lot of people think of these resorts as, you know, the family resort, but also like the sort of like the cheerleader hub, like where when all these events are happening, school trips and things like that often tend to stay here. And so you have this thought in your mind of like, oh, it's gonna be noisy, it's gonna be crowded. It's really not. Every time I've come to these all-star resorts now, it's generally pretty much like this, which is really, really nice. That is typically the case, you know, especially on a weekend, middle of the day. Most people are out at the parks. But it's really nice to walk around a relatively quiet Walt Disney World Resort hotel. And I've preached this as long as I've been doing these live streams, which is, I don't know, 7 years now, which feels crazy to say. If you are staying on property at Walt Disney World, which I highly recommend you do, just makes things so much more convenient, build in an extra day. If you can afford to do it, build in an extra day to your trip and just enjoy your resort. Because, again, the all-star resorts are the most affordable. They're going to have the least amount of amenities. And there's still so much to do here that you could just enjoy a day at your resort. And then, of course, you can work in things like Disney Springs, and there are other activities around Walt Disney World that you can take advantage of, aside from going into the parks. But if you can work in that resort day, it is a huge difference maker. One, because you get to rest a little bit. You're not walking around the parks all day long. And two, because your resorts are awesome. Whichever one you're staying at, I promise you, it's awesome. So, again, that's just my pro tip. Which, be sure to ask your Destinations Travel advisor for whatever tips they might have, because they're going to know more than I am. They're going to be better at planning your trip. And they're going to do a really great job of taking all of the stress away from planning your trip. So it's a good time to let you know, too, that you can start planning your next Walt Disney World Resort vacation by heading to d2travel.com or sending us an email at info@d2travel.com. That's D, the number 2, travel.com. So we have made it around to all the different sections. The All-Star Music Resort, I feel like, might be a little bit smaller. In terms of the total ground that you have to cover. It helps that it's in a straight line, which is really nice. So we're going to head back up to the lobby. We'll wrap things up right up at the front again. But if you have any last minute questions or comments or anything, feel free to drop them in there. Let me see. I know I missed a couple comments here. Bill says, would love to have that black 57 Chevy. Maybe not that one. I don't think that one runs anymore. Let's see. Randy says we always include a resort day on all of our trips now. Yeah, it's a huge difference maker. I know when I used to take vacations here, we would squeeze it into like a weekend and we would rush through the parks from open to close, and I was exhausted. It was just so much work to deal with that. If you had an extra day in the middle, or you're just hanging out in your pool. And again, the resort hotels are amazing. The amenities are awesome. They have great restaurants, you know, at the hotels. So, I mean, there's so much to do right at your hotel. It really will enhance your vacation. Randy says, last trip we had 2.5 resort days. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's great, because if you can work that in, then you can spend a day at your resort. Also go resort hopping. Go check out some of the other resorts. There's a ton to see and do at Walt Disney World. So If you can fit that into your trip, absolutely go for it. Steven asked, any favorite songs that play here? That's a good question. So it's kind of hard to tell at some points what is the normal music loop and what's playing like at the pools. I haven't really, nothing stuck out. So if you're not familiar, the resorts will always have like sort of a fun like events team type of thing that will provide entertainment at the pool areas, and they'll always be playing, pop music, things like that. So that's what I mean by, can't really decipher what's the normal music loop, which you may notice, well, back over in rock and country and Broadway, there was no music. There was no sound at all. It was silent back there. Oh, I just noticed this. We're going to come back here a little bit because I just noticed this sign for a playground. And I did see the playground over at All-Star Movies. I think I saw it at Movies. I did not see it here at Music. So here you go. There is also a playground right on property here, which is really nice. Yeah, good point from Randy too, and I'll pick up on that in just a second. I just want to show you guys the playground. Yeah, here you go. A nice little playground right outside your room here. It's nice. What Randy was saying was with those 2.5 resort days, his was at Riviera, which Riviera is on the Skyliner route. So that makes things so much easier. You can hop on the Skyliner to go either to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, or take it over to some of the other resorts like Art of Animation and Pop Century, which we were talking about earlier. So that's something to keep in mind too when you're picking your resort. Not all resorts have the same transportation options. So all the resorts will offer buses, but they will also offer either boats. Some of them will offer boats or the Skyliner. And your destination travel advisor will know which hotels offer what. So whatever's important to you, make sure you let them know what you're looking for, and they will take care of it for you. And again, planning a Walt Disney World Resort vacation right now, not easy. You need to know a lot of information that most people don't know. So why try to handle that yourself? Get in touch with a Destinations of Travel advisor and let them do all the heavy lifting for you. It's no extra cost to you. If anything, they're going to save you money. So it's a no-brainer. I am at the resorts all the time. I'm at the parks all the time. I still use a Destinations Travel advisor to plan my trips if I'm going out to Disneyland or something like that. So I'll remind you one more time, it is d2travel.com, where you can send us an email at info@d2travel.com. That's D2 travel.com. Let me see, I missed another comment here. Skyliner scavenger hunt is what we did on one of those resort days. That's awesome. I've actually never done that. I know there's like a Skyliner bar crawl as well, which I've partially done, but it didn't get through the entire thing. I just wasn't available for the entire night. But so there's just so many fun things you can do at Walt Disney World that doesn't involve going into the parks. Of course, the parks are amazing. You're going to want to spend as much time as you can in the parks, but there is a lot of other stuff to do. All right, so I'll give you one more last look out across the pool here. And again, we are doing this Resort Hotel Spotlight series. So we're getting out to all of the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Last week we were at All-Star Sports. Next week, we'll be at All-Star Movies to finish off the All-Star trifecta. So keep an eye out for that. We are gonna head up to the front, to where the bus loop is, and wrap things up out there for today, right where we started the previous live stream, but when there was no audio. And again, this is the main lobby area to the left. This is where you would check in. This is where you would start your experience before heading out to everything we just saw. And here's Maestro Mickey's The Gift Shop. And then just right out here, this is the bus loop. This is where you would head to all of the parks I am actually going to hop on this bus right here and head to Magic Kingdom. So we're going to wrap things up right here. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you all real soon. Bye, everyone.